going to ask the question, what life events, if any, do you continually encounter that distracts you from your self-care and physical wellness regimens? And I'll just answer that question because I have my up moments and my down moments of getting my physical, fitness in and doing my juicing and my, prepping my meals and things like that. And I will say my distractions are usually people, whether it's family or people that work in my business that are taking me away from my scheduled time that I try to, stick with to make sure that I'm working out on a regular basis. I'm not a gym rat where I'm, working out for an hour or two every day. Like that's not who I am, but I do believe in getting that, physical time in to get your heart rate up. And, I like lifting weights. And honestly, I resonate with lifting weights because of my life. The struggles that I went through that have strengthened me. So lifting weights, it's not an easy thing, but it helps to strengthen you even the more. And lifting weights burns more fat even when you're resting. So I have had those distractions with my husband. Like he is a military vet. He's contracting now, so he's been back and forth overseas. He actually just left to go to Iraq last month. And it's like when he's away, I can do what I need to do.
That's so true.
I can wake up, before 4 a.m. And just have all the energy in the world, get my workout gear on, get my, get my butt in gear, take my little selfies to show people I actually am doing this,
Yeah, that good stuff.
Right. And then when he's here, this is a totally different story because it gets off track. Or, people that are working in my business, like 2018 was one of the roughest years that I've had in my brick and mortar business. We're all, susceptible to those moments. And a lot of it was due to people. It wasn't for a lack of business, but for a lack of having people who are readily available to do their jobs. People bailing out without notice. People that you've hired ghosting you and they're not showing up for the jobs that you interview them for and train them to do, and you know what I mean?
So grateful to have.
Right.
Oh my God.
So a lot of my things that have kept me away from really taking care of my, my physical well-being has been people.
Mine has been daylight saving time.
Oh my God.
That honestly for me goes without saying, but that I never have been a fan of daylight saving
Sleepy. What time is it?
It to your body.
It does. It really does something to your body. So I'm glad that you said that. But yeah, that is a huge one for me as well.
This year I said, okay, that's it. I said, because you can see I do all my running activities this time of year. And then this time of year, I'm at home. I've never been a gym person. I just feel it's unsanitary and stuff like that. So I finally told my husband, this is what I want for Christmas. I want an exercise bike. Why didn't I do that a long time ago? Just give me a bike. And we got a bike, he put it together, and now I can do my running. During the off, when it's daylight saving time, like I said, any other time I go to the trail and run and things like that. But that solved my problem right there. Now I have my own bike. I can get my 20 minutes in, 30 minutes in the morning, come home. If I feel like it, just give me another 30 minutes in. I'm happy.
Okay.
I'm happy. And then when I'm ready to run in my marathon events, I can do that during the time that I usually run. But the off season, when it's daylight saving time, I can go home and get a half hour in. I'm happy. Yep.
So mine was very similar to yours, Liz, where you said about people. And as I peeled back the layers of that on my journey, because health is very important to me, I think as influencers and as leaders, what I've seen a lot is that because we're not taking care of ourselves first, we end up being the ones that the enemy can cut the throat of.
yes.
So now the teams and the people that we're leading can't get us
Yes.
anymore. And I literally, I
Yes.
saw God showed it to me through a pastor that he was a dynamic pastor in the church, but because of his health, he was literally getting cut off the pulpit. Like he had to get his legs amputated, then kidney failure, and that's how the church ended up falling apart. And I said it's because as leaders sometimes we're not prioritizing and understanding to start with ourselves first. And so that would be this thing for me too is people pleasing.
Yeah.
Really? You put yourself aside for other people, right?
Right.
And so that's why you're not getting your physical fitness in.
Right.
And even for me, for years, I had this dream of what I wanted to look like because, of my passion just with fitness and being tied with my past, having to be strong and I want to look strong and fit, right? But I could never realize it because, when husband was home and, he just wanted to sit and relax. Right. And I had plans, and I had plans to go to the gym or whatever. And then I'm like, oh, okay, honey. Or the children wanted something. I'm like, okay, but not anymore.
There you go.
She's gone. Oh, you want to hang out? Okay, well, pause it. And then when I get back, right, then we'll do that because I understand and I'm aggressive about that now. Right. And as women, we don't do that. But I cut my slice of cake first.
Hello.
Wow.
I cut that out first.
That's true.
I don't care what if it has to do with my health because if I'm not here, you won't have anybody to cover.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? If I don't take care of me first, right?
That's
So,
right.
and that's what I teach every leader that feels nervous. Oh no, I need to be there for my team. I said, no, you don't. Not right now.
Yeah.
Not for this hour and a half. You don't.
You know,
Right.
you can't give if you don't have it.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's what it was for
I
me.
think for me, it's finding the right time. Coming through a major life transition. My house is empty now. We're empty nesters, my husband can take care of himself. I mean, I call myself the caregiver, but I was taking care of my mom, and then I had my granddaughter and all of that. So now I'm reordering my life. I joined the gym, and my goal is to learn how to swim because yes, I'm one of the black people that can't swim.
Me either.
So I'm going to do that this year, but even just trying to find where in my day because I'm creative, but I'm creative in the morning. So I can't get up in the morning and work out.
Right.
Because then it's gone.
Yeah.
If I ever go left brain, I'm done the rest of that day. I can't write or anything unless I take a nap or something. So it's just, but in the meantime, I find like little things that I can do around my office when I take a break. But my big priority has been the nutrition part.
Okay.
And getting that to where, I stopped eating beef and pork, and then my system would not tolerate poultry. So, just kind of making that and making better, food choices and things like that. So I'll be swimming by the end of the year and able to beat my own face, but I'm just gonna be all goals this year. But that's what I want to learn how to swim. My grandchildren are like, Nana, you can't swim. I'm like, no. And so I'm gonna learn how to swim this year.
Okay.
My challenge is the words that come to mind are too much success. I feel like God said with respect to my business, I'm going to pour out more blessings when your cup is going to run over. Well, my cup's been running over. And so, and I like that, and I'm very honored that God chose to favor my company that way. But what comes with that is exhaustion. Right? And so my challenge is, how do I find the energy to want to exercise and all of that? Because I have used my brain for 12 plus hours, and now I need to lay down. So that has been the challenge for me. And so I get to a point where I realize, okay, we need to do a pause. We need to do a pause. And then we need to get it back in order. And so that's currently where I am. I was at a point for almost 2 years where I said, no matter what, Friday's my day. It doesn't matter. The sky could fall. Friday is my day to self-care.
Yes.
And so I was doing so well with that for a couple of years, and then the business just started to grow and to grow and to grow. And so for me, it's all about trying to figure out the balance, and I have not yet figured that out. But I do know that I need to get there. But the self-care part for me is get some rest. So I have to at least start with rest,
Right.
and then I can go from there.
But you know what? Like you said, I don't eat last year, so it's been a year for me. I removed chicken and beef out of my, it was a lifestyle change.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say out of my diet. I made a lifestyle change, and I've noticed a huge difference once I removed beef and chicken. Pork has been out of my life for 30 plus years, although I'm 22.
No, that's right.
But I told you, it has been a change for me. And I've always been allergic to milk and, cow's milk. So that has been out of my life anyway. So I've always been a plant-based eater, but I was eating meat. But now that I've removed the beef and the chicken, I got energy without even working out. I just have extra energy. I feel different. I'm more coherent. It's just a difference in my life. It may not be a difference in others, but I can feel it. If I didn't feel it, I would say, why am I not eating my chicken wings and stuff like that? But I feel it, and I did it for a whole year, and I don't miss it because I think that the benefit outweighs me eating chicken and beef. It's been a serious lifestyle change. I love it.
And see, I know for a lot of people, the physical exercise is a huge part of their self-care.
Right.
For me, it's books. Give me a book and a cup of coffee. They know if I go up in my living room with my cup of coffee and my book, I'm good. And that's how I nourish myself.
Wow.
That's how I make sure that I replenish.
Right.
When I can't write or when I'm just kind of feeling out of sorts, I've not been reading, and so I typically read about 30 books a year. Although one year I did challenge myself to read 52 and I read 55. That year I keep a spreadsheet. And so I tend to read books that either are educational from a political standpoint or business or something like that during the week. And on the weekends I read novels. And so that's how I get my balance. So my biggest self-care thing is my books. If my house catch on fire, I'm going to as many bookshelves as I can and grab my books. Right, I gotta save the book. So that's what nourishes me.
When I grow up, I want to be like you. Because I buy books, I just don't get a chance to read them.
I never get the chance to read.
My heart is there.
Yeah.
I set a time.
They match my room. They match the room.
They look good as before. I do have some really good decor.
You're gonna have to give up a TV show or something.
Right.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, I set a time.
I don't
read
watch
first thing in the
TV.
morning.
I'm a lot like Barbara. Like my time is my biggest challenge.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I am so bad at that. My team gets on me.
Okay.
Oh my God, they get on me. So as I'm listening to you all, I'm hearing them like, you better say this. You better tell me. I've actually, over the last couple of years, been hospitalized several times from exhaustion because I'm really a workaholic. I really am.
Yeah.
I am.
Sometimes, workaholics, you start feeling it in your legs. You're like, oh my God. You're like shaking. I'm like, let me sit down. How long have I been up? 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, that's me all the time.
Except the
I'm going to
bed.
bed until like 3, 4 in the morning, and I'm back up at like 8 or 9.
Right.
It's clockwork, you know. But I'm very good as far as I don't like exercise. I'm not interested in it. My team came to me about making an exercise video, and I was like, okay, listen, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to give me a stunt double. I already got it all planned out, right? So when the camera pans around, that's when you'll put me back on with the water spread, and I'll just give it, and then I can give I've got it all planned out, but I'm like, why? I just don't get it. It's not. My ex-husband was really a big he was really big on working out. Wasn't big on the gym either.
Okay.
He was one of those people that said you don't gotta go to the gym. He had a very nice body, but I was just looking like, why are you torturing yourself like that? Like, that's so, you know. But my saving grace, and my doctor always says my saving grace is that I love to walk.
Okay.
Love to walk. Now I can walk like. That is my thing, and it's so my thing that when it's not other people's things, I'm like, well, you got 2 feet, like you don't like to use them, like it's just so weird for me because I love to walk. That's you know one of the other parts why I have to live in the city.
Yes.
Because people who like to walk like me,
That's why I love visiting New York City.
Exactly. I don't like the suburbs because I'm like, this is the same tree. Or it's not the same. How long have I been walking? I'm like, it's the weirdest thing. But when I'm like in the city, it's just like, oh my God, look at that guy doing that over there. What is he doing over there? I don't know. Hey, you know, oh, cute shoes, you know, and like, oh, you know, I'm gonna stop out there on the way back. And then next you know it's 10 blocks. You're like, I might want to take the train back.
And we're talking.
But then I'll turn around and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take the train in 2 blocks. Okay, 2 more blocks. 2 more blocks, then I'm back home. And that's how much I love it. So that's my saving grace.
Yes.
That does help me.
Yes.
The other thing I am currently working on, so what my team and I are putting together, my cousin, he's really big on plant-based diet. And this is my cousin I was telling you about that. He healed his dad of stage 4 cancer, all the natural route. And so we want him to come just help educate my team, us together. Like, we're going to try to do this together because they're finding, like, you know, Philip, you need to. Philip, you might want to. It's not working. So if we do it together, then maybe we can have a little bit more, you know, because we all know it boils down to diet and exercise and mostly diet, you know. But I do have to get better at getting rest. I have been doing better. I've been seeing improvement. And I also give back to myself once a week. So, meaning like I do a lot of self-care on other people. So I have to do my own nails, my own feet, my own room shaving, and like
Put it on the calendar.
I have to, and I do that. That's very important. Yeah, that is so important for me. And for me, I mean, I should go get someone else to do it so often too, but it's important for me to do it. It really is. It works for me. It does something.
I definitely relate with that because being in the industry, we're giving so much to other people's, you know, aesthetic to help them to feel internally better. So we have to do that for ourselves, and it's something that we often neglect. Like you always hear about hairstylists whose hair looks ridiculous because they never have time to get theirs done. Because they're always
You should see me when I'm on set, in the movie set. They're like, where's the makeup artist? Because the homeless person just you're playing the homeless. Okay, but where's the makeup artist?
Everybody knows the stylist with the worst hair is the best stylist in the song.
Yes.
So she's gonna do all that.
She got time.
Right.
And when you get your nails done, do you look at the nails of the person that's doing your nails?
You know what? I have given up getting my nails done, and I'm going to tell you why. I get my nails done, and then when it comes about time to getting them refilled or whatever, they're long. I'm trying to type. I can't fit. I was just like, you know what? Last time I got my nails done, I think I left them on for 2 weeks, and then I just literally sat and filed them all out. And I said, I'm wasting my money.
Liberated.
I live by press-ons. The last 2 years.
Wow.
The last 2 years, all of them
Really?
catch. If you see me any picture, it's press-ons.
That makes
Really?
me so happy.
Where do you get
And
your
because-
press? I mean,
Because that's what I do too.
I live by press-ons.
That's what I do
swear.
too.
And then what I do is
so you're going to add the press-ons to my list?
the list of things that you're going to be learning this year.
Yes. There you go.
That's so
And then I just, and I'm like a scavenger because I have so many of them. Like that's what this is a scavenger look. Meaning I just go through like I know I've got a thumb over here somewhere.
Where is that from?
Yeah.
Because because even if I'm writing, if I'm actively writing, I'm trying to write 500 to 1,000 words a day.
Oh, yeah.
And normally I'm at my computer, and so I'm like,
They come
these
shorter.
nails are on my nerves.
Yeah.
So press on.
Yeah, they come shorter than this, and mine actually
some
lasts
nice-
about 2 weeks.
They got some
And
nice
maybe in 2 weeks, maybe one may fall, and so I keep the glue on my back, and I'm going to keep
I'm
about
gonna
my
have
business.
to see. That was worth the
Keep it
try
moving.
right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
press
yes,
on.
the sign.
You guys, let's go get our dessert so we can have this. We had a spiritual question we want to talk about. So let's get some dessert and meet back at the table, okay?
Okay, ladies, let's talk about spiritual wellness. And so I've got a question for you. Of dreams, visions, and walking in your purpose, how did you utilize each of them to start and manage your business? This is a business card when I started my business, the very first week that I started it. I made a business card and I wrote my dreams on the back.
Oh, wow.
I did that in 2007.
Oh.
And I carry this business card in my wallet every day. It's never left my wallet. The only time I ever take it out is when I'm talking about it. And so this is what's on here. I thought I'd share it with you.
Okay.
We've already said this in a lot of ways. You don't really separate your business from your life. You are your business. They are one and the same. So remember, business card. But my first goal on here is one with God. Because I know that if I am with God, whether it's me or my business, we're going to be okay.
That's right.
We're going to be okay because I'm going to be walking in whatever God's purpose is for me. That's what the first one says. The second one, affluence and abundance. The third one, it's amazing you would say this when you're a one-person business in 2007, but I did write it, and of course it came to pass because that's the way God works.
Yes.
$1 million business.
Ooh.
I wrote that.
Ah.
At the time when we were a one-person business. Smart, spiritual, successful daughter.
Wow.
House of my dreams.
That's
And I want to share that story about the dreams part of that. Actually, I think I was in my 30s. And I read a book about dreaming, and I actually wrote on a piece of paper all of my dreams, and it was like your financial dreams, your marriage dreams, your love dreams, your health dreams, just all of this stuff. Whole page full of dreams. Wrote them down, shared them with my girlfriend, and she kept a copy of it, and I didn't keep my copy. And she gave it back to me like 20 some years later. She said, Barbara, look at what you wrote. And do you know, they're the same as these, right? Different time. And here it talks about House of My Dreams. On that piece of paper, I literally wrote what the house looked like. You know, with nature, privacy, all these wonderful things. And so I said all that to say that as long as your business is who you are, and as long as you have dreams and visions and goals for yourself, and as long as you walk in your purpose, you'll always be fine. You will always be fine in your business because you are being you. So folks have different ways of writing down their dreams, realizing their dreams, and all of that. For me, it's always worked when I've written them. God has this way of showing you that you're favored. And once God shows you that one time, and He keeps showing you over and over and over, I've just absolutely never worried about my business. I had the dream, I wrote the dream, God brought it to pass, and everything that He's done years and years after that is just a manifestation of what He's always had in mind for me. So I know that's what it is. I know it's Him blessing me, and honestly, and I'm sure all of you are going to say the same thing, it just comes.
It's true.
It really does just come. And the walking for the purpose part of it in my business is I am totally compelled to share my success with others and how I've done it.
I've witnessed that.
And one of my dear friends, I just suggested to her daughter that she start doing a business very similar to mine. And so we've been chatting about it. And she says, well, Barbara, what is your fee for that? Does she have to give you a part of the business? Because I don't hold back any secrets. In fact, if you can get there faster than I got there, and you can learn from my obstacles or my challenges or whatever, I don't want you to have to go through. I want you to take the shortcut. You don't have to necessarily take the long cut the way that I did. And so she says, so Barbara, just, and I says, oh my goodness, I never charge anyone. And I would never charge anyone who seeks me out for how in the world did you do this and how can I do it the same way. I am totally open, always open to sharing my blessing because God just gave it to me. And He didn't really give it to me for me to keep it.
That's right.
I'm well aware of that. And so that's, so my dreams and my visions and my walking in purpose, they're the same, whether it's my business or me. And I think the overarching part of it all is if you're truly walking in God's purpose, you have nothing to worry about.
That's true.
Absolutely.
That's
nothing to
so
worry
true.
about. He will bless you
Yes, He will.
exactly the way He said He would.
When my organization, we saw all these vision board parties out there, I didn't see anything about God being mentioned. So when we had our vision board, we referenced Habakkuk 2:2. Write your vision, make it plain. And we incorporated mental, physical, and spiritual wellness into the vision board party. We talked about the wellness aspect first, because if your wellness isn't on point, then that can block your blessings. And we made sure we stuck with Habakkuk 2:2. Write your visions and make it plain. Now, I had to understand, and I had to research it in the Bible, because you hear all these words, dreams, visions, walking in your purpose, and Barbara was 100% correct. But I had to research it. I said, so what is the difference between dreams and visions, and how do you know you're walking in your purpose? God said, in the Bible, you see a lot of dreams. The dreams are when you're asleep, you're idle. When you wake up, your vision is that dream. What is it going to take you to get to that dream, to get that dream? That's the vision. Okay, I dreamed this. This is the vision. I'm going to enact that vision. When you enact that vision and execute that vision, you walk in your purpose.
That makes perfect sense.
That's it.
It's that simple.
There you go.
It's just that simple.
Yeah, it's just that simple. So when I hear all these people throwing the words out there, I'm walking in my purpose, and you're not even a business.
Haven't even invested in yourself.
Have invested,
and
done nothing, but they're walking in their purpose, and you haven't executed your vision. You're still in the dream phase because it's sitting idle.
Yes. Wow.
I think that a theme for me when I read that question is confidence is a big problem. That's a lot of things that I work with, women as strong and as powerful as they are.
Yes.
You still can see where the enemy is playing in their mind with their confidence. Because even though they have the dream, they're not dreaming unapologetically though.
Yeah.
Right? They're not dreaming as if they couldn't fail.
Right.
Even when it's time to write down the vision, I'll give the women or the teams that I lead and I say, okay, write down the vision. And sometimes they'll ask me, well, what is the strategy to that? I said, what's on your heart? Because God is not going to give you a dream and not give you the strategy for reaching the dream. But what happens is we allow our self-doubt to get in the way and say, well, I'm not sure. I'm not an entrepreneur like you were telling us earlier. I've never done anything like that. But if you're just obedient, right, and just take that first step, you will see that he gives you the chain links one at a time, and then you look back and you're like, here's the house, right? Like here it is, because you have that confidence, that God confidence is what I call it, to unapologetically be your authentic self, to take 100% ownership of who it is God said you are and walk it out, because that is what anyone can sense in a room. Who is confidence, right? Even in business, that is what they can sense, and that's what I think that puts all of those together, where you can dream a dream and dream it big, right? I'll tell them, I said, put the dollar figure that you want, and then after they write it down, I said, make sure it's your dream, and then I say, add a 0.
Right.
Because it needs to challenge you, right? It needs to get your heart palpitating a little bit, because you know you can't depend on just you to do that. Because a lot of times you'll put what you think you can make, right? What you think is possible, the safe one, the comfortable one, right? But then it has to stretch you, because God wants that for you, right? But it's about confidence.
Why can't we live the abundant life? Isn't it in the Bible?
Yes.
Why we love that. But I think the other thing too is sometimes another cop out that we use is, well, I'm just waiting on the Lord.
I know, and the Lord
And it's like, you know, he's gonna just drop it in your lap.
and you ain't out there executing.
Exactly, because we don't understand that waiting is activity.
Right, it's activity.
It's process.
Yes.
It's God said, I will teach you to profit.
Right.
If you do this, I'll do that.
Right.
It's kind of like a woman wanting a husband, but you know, you just sitting at home, what TD said, you sitting at home in your bathrobe and your fluffy shoes, but you expect him to ring your doorbell.
Exactly.
So we, you know, but having said that, I have also learned timing.
Yes.
I have learned about timing. So, you know, when you're doing everything that you're supposed to do, I'm seeing things now that God said 20 years ago.
He may not come when you want him.
Sometimes it wasn't
right on time.
What I didn't understand was the technology that would change. So when I saw it with the mindset for possibilities 20 years ago. And I was doing something the other day and I went, oh, this is what that was. So sometimes the world has to catch up. But in the meantime, we still have to occupy, which is doing.
That's right.
Doing what to do in that day,
in that moment.
Yes.
Right. Prepare for the next day and the next moment.
Exactly. Versus saying, well, I'm just going to wait on
Oh my God. You know, it's just something, because I felt that, like literally felt that when you were saying that. And my mom is of that school of thought. Wait on the Lord. See if that's what he wants you to do. Ask the Lord before you make that move. See? And I said, you know, Mom, because one day I just kind of got tired of hearing it. You know, and I said, okay, Mom, do you believe truly that you're just waiting on the Lord to give you the direction, or are you just afraid, so you're using that as an excuse? I said, I'm making these moves and believing that God is ordering my steps.
Right.
If it's going to work out, it's going to work out. If it's not going to work out, it's not going to work out.
There's no such thing as failure to me.
Stepping out on faith.
I don't even believe it. The only failure is when you don't try.
When you don't try.
I don't believe in failure anymore. I don't.
Exactly.
Right.
I said, if I thought that way, do you think I would be where I am today? If I just sat and waited on the Lord to say,
in a rocking chair.
Elizabeth Jennings, open up the beauty business, hire employees, open up, like every time I made a move, when I opened up my second location, that was a pure faith move.
Yes.
God didn't say go and open up a second location.
Right.
I opened up a second location before I had anybody to work there. Okay.
Wow.
Same thing with my third location. And then with my fourth location that I opened last year, every time it's worked out that way where I've opened the location before I had anyone to work there. And so the enemy thought that he had me and that he thought that he was going to make me throw in the towel. Because with my fourth location last year, 2018 was a year of extreme struggles when it comes to dealing with people. So I have literally had this location with no one to work there because I've hired people that have left me standing cold, walked away, you know, negated their commitment, that, you know, took the time and money to train and hire and do all of these things. And then he wanted me to throw in the towel and say, you made a mistake. You weren't supposed to open that fourth location. And I said, devil, you are a liar. So I continue to stand on, you know, my faith. And I said, I know that this is going to work out. I know the right people are going to come along. New Year's Eve, I had my 2 people hired. And I'm going to Charlotte next week to train both of them.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Yes. Wow.
You know, I want to piggyback off of something that you said, Philip. No is not even in my vocabulary, or can't, or fail. None of that's in my vocabulary. I don't even think like that. I think positive. I think success. I think can do, will do. I just don't have those kinds of things in my vocabulary. I don't see, that's not my vision.
Not anymore.
That's not my vision. That's not my dream.
No.
That's not me walking in my purpose.
That's how
And
God
honestly,
served.
when you feel that way, you just overcome.
It's true.
You always overcome.
Yes.
You manifest your own
Because
destiny.
absolutely, you don't
So
give
true.
up. No is
It's
not
true.
an acceptable
Right.
answer.
Yeah.
Only yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, it will.
You don't.
That's it.
And
Um,
that's it. That's the
And
only
I don't
option.
think of anything other than.
And I don't lose, I learn.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
I love that. Where my
Yes.
where my phone?
That's a
Like you
really good one.
said, I'll give you credit for the first time.
If I preach it, it came straight from the Holy Ghost. Okay, hallelujah.
But it's true.
That's a very good one.
Yeah.
Because I too, any of us, I'm sure,
Yes.
any of us as small businesses,
Right.
we always have had challenges with personnel.
Yes.
You know, that's just
Absolutely.
a part
Yes.
of it all, right?
All the time. This is hard.
And so, yeah, and so you learn. I love that because you do. You have to
Yes.
learn from those. And there'll be more in the future, but we learn from those too.
You got that right.
You know?
And I think for me, with all of the setbacks that I had to deal with, which I've had many, I was determined to come out better and not bitter.
And I better.
Yeah.
You know, and I had to keep the vision that I saw in front of me because I was not. I dreamed where I'm going years ago at a TD Jakes conference. I went to bed and my mind, I can tell when I'm around creative people, like in here, because my mind goes like this.
Yeah.
Like all the time. Like, I don't know how
And
I'm
I
going
was
to
just
sleep
saying
tonight,
that.
right?
Well, I have been sleeping 36 hours, 46, but I'm small.
And I was asleep and I had this dream and I was watching this dream. And when the dream played out, I realized that I was watching myself.
Yeah.
So it gave me a vision of something to look for. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how we're going to get there, but that's where we're going. Because I was minding my own business. I was asleep.
Okay? Yeah.
Now, I was asleep. So if you showed me this, and then every step of the way, but I've learned that every job I've had, every situation that I've been through was designed for part of that journey. The last book I wrote it because I needed to read it. And I knew that there were other people that book, you gotta fight through this.
Yes.
I wrote about what I went through with my husband having cancer and all these people dying and all that. There was not that book that I could find in a way that spoke to me.
It was well written.
Most books that were talking about caregiving and going through stuff like that, they were either clinical or they were I
It
don't
went from
know.
a personal
So I
experience.
wrote what I needed to read. And had I not gone through that, I had people call me and say, I'm at the doctor's office and I'm reading this book. It's a quick read.
It's a
Somebody showed up at my house, which is why I don't give my address out anymore.
Okay.
And she said, I wasn't able to talk to you at church, but I needed to tell you I was about to give up. And then I read this book. So a lot of times I'm like, okay, my husband, he has, I can't tell you how many people have come to his desk and sat down and said, I gotta go to the doctor, or the doctor just gave me this report. And so out of what he's dealt with, we've been able to encourage and talk to other people, because it used to be when they said cancer, that was a death sentence. It's not anymore. It's not anymore, but it's how you go through it. So, and I tell people, and I said it in the book, I never asked God why. But I did finally ask him, I was like, God, how long? Because this has been a long, people just started dropping. My mother-in-law died, my father died, my uncle died,
a lot of that.
and then I had to bring my mother down here, and then I was trying to finish the book, and my son came home. And he said, Mom, my marriage just fell apart. I got 2 little girls, I need help. So I took all of that and said, okay. And I watched everybody else's business. You know, ooh, yeah, child, I'm making 6 figures now, blah, blah, blah. I done hired 3-4 people. And I'm like, man, I can barely write. But I had a vision. I saw something and I held on to it. And so I'm not willing to let that go. And now I'm beginning to see with my eyes what I saw in my spirit.
That's
And the other thing for me is the evidence that has already been given. That is undeniable. And I got to a pivotal point in my journey that I had so many instances of evidence of that dream being fulfilled that how dare I say.
Exactly.
And because mine came from a list, but mine wasn't as beautiful as yours. Like my cousin, she grew up. We were like really close. We call each other twin cousins, and she always was on the straight and narrow, and I wasn't. I started off, and then I just but no matter where I went, she believed in me, and when I was looking at her like, you crazy. Something wrong with you. But why are you still believing in me now? You need to calm down, because you see what's going on around here. So it was right before I had made a major change. Like I had put myself, I'm not going to say I went through, because I put myself through all these things. This is for real. No one put me through anything. And I was in prison. And I spent 2 years in prison. And my cousin wrote me a letter. She said, you're about to come home. She said, the next letter I get from you needs to have a 10-year goal. And she says, I need you to start at 10 years and come back to 5 years, then back to 2 years, 18 months, 9 months. And yes, and that's exactly what I did.
Yes.
And every single thing
Isn't that
on that list, and then some, has come to pass. And it came to a point when I was going through everything I was going through, and I was like, and I was homeless. And I was, but I wasn't tripping. I had enough evidence.
Exactly. Fruit don't lie. That's what I tell them.
I had enough evidence. I was
I'm
just
gonna
like,
tweet it.
When I preach, what you have to hold on to. God gave you that piece of fruit. Like when in the Bible, when he talks about that story, when he came up to the tree and he couldn't find it and he cursed it, you couldn't be cursed because it was fruit.
That's right.
Your dream couldn't be cursed because it was fruit.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I know in my heart of hearts, I'm doing it for the right reason. It's not for financial gain. That's a byproduct. That's a byproduct. It ain't even about that. Things, whatever. I'm doing it for the right reason, and I'm living my purpose, and it just happens to you know, pay me or whatever.
Yes.
For anything like it just happens to.
Yes, yes.
But that's not what I'm doing. I promise you, if I was wealthy this second, I would still do everything I would still do it. I love it all. I would still
Yes.
do it.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah, that's quite a testimony.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It really is.
There's a book in there.
I was about to say book
It
worthy.
is. I told you that.
Yeah, you told me that
So-
we were in your closet. I was picking out your clothes.
I've self-published 3 books already. Just I'll let you know.
Well, I actually think all of us
Yes.
could write
I'm working on one.
our own
I'm working on my first.
story.
Yes.
I
We
am.
really could. Every one of
Yeah.
us.
You know, it's amazing because I have, God is just, he just continues to speak. He's amazing. People, oh my God. I have 4 books and I know I have to get all of them out this year because I've been sitting on them. One is already written that I haven't done anything with yet. And it's actually my story.
Okay.
And it's amazing because the Michelle Obama book came out, Becoming.
Okay.
I wrote my book before I knew anything about her even having a book.
Okay.
The title is not Becoming, but it's The Audacity of Hope and Beauty. And
Oh, I like that.
the subtitle, I'm still working on it, but I had wrote down my journey to becoming.
Isn't it?
And I have it's all I can't make it up.
Right.
So when I heard about her book and the journey and the tour and everything, I was like, this is amazing. But yeah, like Barbara said, we all have stories. We all have books in us. We all have something that other people need to hear.
Right. That's so true.
And I'll throw this out there too, when you're talking about books. The first time I was published, it was in a book that was a collaboration. All of us had a chapter.
Oh,
I see a lot of that now.
It's like it's
Some
like
women,
yeah,
right? They wrote a book. They
All
wrote
of
letters to their daughters, and it was like 20 of them. They all wrote letters to their daughters. They all had a chapter each, and I thought that was
Wow.
The first book that I
That's
published
amazing.
was called The Self-Architect. It was a
Okay.
lady out of Louisville that did it, and my chapter was called Change Your Mind, Change Your Life. The reason I started self-publishing though is because after that it's like, okay, she did the publishing, she kind of owned those 10 pages
Right.
that I
Okay.
sweat over, but that's something that's not hard to do.
right.
To get a group of people together and
Right.
get all the whatevers, and then everybody's responsible for however many pages,
Okay.
whatever, and then the editing and whatnot. But yes, a lot of times that's the easiest way
Right.
to go into being an author, is to be part of a collaborative effort.
Wow.
Okay, ladies, we have one more thing to do. Let's meet in the other room
Okay.
with our gifts for each other.
Okay.